Satnam, beautiful angelic beings. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience. Come to sit up tall to tune in, please. Wherever you are, let's synchronize. Let's tune in together. Bring the palms to touch. This prayer pose that we do when we tune in, and if you're new, you just follow along here. We're opening the energy with sound. But this prayer pose, it's actually, we kind of get lazy about it, honestly. But you actually want to lower your hands a bit so that your forearms are parallel to the ground. And put some pressure in between the palms. And the spine really straight. And close the eyes. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. We use this sound, and if you're new, you can listen and copy the sounds. And if you know it, feel the vibration move through your whole being as you tune in. Inhale to begin. Om. Good Inhale. Hold the breath, press the palms together. Exhale. Inhale. Adngure nami jugadngure nami sadngure nami siddhingure nami adngure nami jugadngure nami sadngure nami siddhingure nami adngure nami jugadngure nami sadngure nami siddhingure nami. Exhale, relax. Okay, that's a mantra to connect us to our higher self and to this infinite wisdom and intelligence. And then the second part is protective. So now we're really set up. I'm going to chat for a second, and then we will do this practice together. Okay. I have to be very conscious of my language, because that's part of my intention to share, is that our collective language and dialogue must be elevated. For whatever reason, humanity is in a very degenerate state right now. I'm laughing because it's so bad that you could only laugh and do your part. but it's not very good. So we're in an interesting time, and it's important to understand a little bit about the word. Let me just say a few yogic teachings here. One of the yogic teachings is those who do not know how to live to their words shall never have the knowledge to know the infinite or know God. And the other thing is, one word spoken can make or break the destiny of a human being. That's the yogic teaching. One word spoken can make or break the destiny of the human being. Okay, so for some reason we think that the internet landscape is not part of this. The internet is a mirror of really like the Akashic records. Everything that you've ever said or will say is imprinted in the Akashic records, and the frequency of that imprint is Akashic records is like an etheric record space, but the frequency is flipped upon your arc line, and you carry it around like a screen on your forehead for everyone to see, for everyone to feel, whether they're seeing your arc line or not. That's the teaching. Does that make sense? Okay, so the frequency of our arc line is based upon our history and our future and the thoughts that we have. And we're very lucky to have Kundalini Yoga, which is a technology. It's called a technology because it's very scientific and very exact. But what we do is change the frequency of your arc line. So if you, as my teacher would say, if you've been robbing banks every day up until now, no problem. But let's just clean some of that up. If you've been up to no good, not a problem. You know, we can change the projection, but for us to think that our words don't have impact, or, you know, based on the current landscape in the United States of some things that have happened this week, very polarizing, very intense dialogue on the internet and in the world, everywhere really, but for us to think that what we put there isn't going to come back to us, anything we put out negative is not just going to boomerang back at us, is a very naive understanding of how the word works. So there's that. Several thousands, let's say this, thousands of people this week were fired from their jobs for sharing negative content online. Not for sharing positive content, okay? It's not that you can't share your thoughts in a neutral or a positive way. People think that, oh, it's on my Instagram stories or my Snapchat or whatever, it goes away or nobody's watching. It's just not the case. Just not the case. That people who wanted to have a job and have a career have lost it because they decided to use the power of their creative power of the word to be negative. So, as I said in a message earlier this week, words are world-building technology. We have lots of tools to create. The first tool we have is the word. Now, we know it has to go through a process, thought, feeling, emotion, desire, action. There are thoughts that happen before the words. And I understand you might have some negative thoughts, but see if you can filter. Even the negative thoughts hold an imprint, unfortunately. But even heavier once it's said out loud. And that's why they say it can make or break your destiny. But you've probably experienced your words make or breaking a relationship. You say something and there's forever, something's different because of the word. I mean, that's communication, right? So let's elevate our relationship to the word and bring super consciousness to it right now, please. I also saw some people saying, not speaking negatively about others this week, but saying, oh, things are going to get really bad now, things like that. And I just also want to encourage, no one should speak like that. But especially as yogis, we are developing something called the Vaksiti, which is your ability to speak anything into existence and for it to come to pass. That's one of the responsibilities you have when you start to chant mantra, these high frequency angelic sound codes. your words become more powerful. So use your language. You know, you can feel like, okay, this is heavy, this is intense, this is whatever it is, this is bringing up some past fear in me or something like that. But let's keep our power of speech in a constructive way. Now, nobody's perfect, things happen, but we want to use the power that we create through the yoga practice to bring a consciousness. Just going to say a few more things and then we'll get to our practice. How you think it's going to go is a huge part of how it's going to go. You have to think it for it to come into existence. So when it comes to how we're relating to the world, let's start to think that we can do something constructive. We can participate in a constructive way. And along with this elevated perspective, and the eclipse season is a great time to bring a consciousness that we didn't have prior, bring a sensitivity. And by sensitivity, when we talk about sensitivity in Kundalini Yoga, we mean intelligence, like super sensory. Now is a good time to bring in more sensitivity. Have you heard the word brain rot? I think that this is a Gen Z word. Because I realized, you know, when TikTok hit the scene, I guess in 2020 in the United States, the algorithm that it was nothing like we'd ever seen before. The way that these short form it was all short form videos and all very designed to be highly addictive, and millions and millions, at this point, billions of dollars spent into making the algorithm highly addictive. So you just want to stay on it all day. And then people noticed that the feeds, meaning what was coming up for them to watch in the United States, is very different than it is in China, where TikTok was created. So there, everyone's watching feeds that are increasing their intelligence and their skill set. They know this is for the youth, and we're going to make our youth strong. And then they put it in the United States, and then they were like, let's rot the brains of the youth by just making the stupidest stuff. So obviously there's good and bad in all things. It's a really fun thing to be able to utilize and to be able to share your creative self-expression on social media platforms. But because it was so successful and addictive, the most popular social media, Instagram, adopted their way of doing things and created a highly addictive, like they had no choice. They were like, if we want to survive, we have to make our platform also just about short form brain rot content, you know. And this has been very successful. And so I encourage all of us to understand that the TikTok culture is rotting our brains. I don't want to say our brains. I got to work on my language. It's a brain rotting technology. And critical thinking is at an all-time low. So the other thing is you just, you know, you can't, I can't tell you guys what to do. I would just say not to share opinions of others without looking at different perspectives, you know, as if they're your own. To do research, like critical thinking is a super incredible skill and vital for our future success, especially in the time of AI, which is another talk that we'll have. But it's a very important skill of a sovereign human being, is to have critical thinking, which means you look at all perspectives. So even if you had an enemy, or you had somebody you considered an opponent, or somebody you considered to have the opposite side of you, you want to know their story even better than yours, because that's how you would win the argument in the first place. You'd like read up on why they would even think something so different than you, and then you would, you know, reform your opinion or reaffirm your opinion after that. So that's what critical thinking is. And even in 2020, also critical thinking was like, don't critically think. There was even an article, there was some famous article in the big headline, and it was like, why critical thinking will get you into trouble. I lost my shit when I read this. When I read this in 2020, I was like, oh no. Because this is such a beautiful skill set to have. Okay, so that's brain rot, which we have to be conscious of. we're not, we all have a certain destiny in conclusion. I think some people don't even have a destiny, and then they can create it through the power of Kundalini Yoga, which is awesome. But I think everyone watching this, you do have a destiny. Some of us have a really obvious destiny, some big mission. Some of us is just do, better, just uplift one day to the next. I mean, that's how it is for everyone. But you all have something. But the one thing we have in common is that we came here to uplift others. And the reason I'm just being so dramatic and going off for a second is because this week I just kind of was like, I couldn't believe that we weren't on the same page of like, let's uplift others. I couldn't believe some really nasty things that were being said, weird things. So anyways, use the power of your words as a yogi by people who are yogis, right? This is second, and then I'm going to be done. People who are like liking my posts about unity consciousness and stuff are also sharing hateful, really hateful content as well. There's no separation, this is I'm getting to what I really wanted to share with you, which is when we chant the mantra, when we say positive words. So when you chant the mantra, you are putting yourself in the position of a saint, essentially, because the mantras we chanted were channeled by these really high beings. So, even if you're, Catholic and you chant a prayer of Saint Francis, it's like, he wrote that, right? He wrote that. So you're in his consciousness. There's no difference between you and a saint when you are reciting that prayer. When you chant these mantras, there's no difference between you and a high realized being. When you share a piece of hateful content, there's no difference between you and that. That's what you've decided to put out in the world. That's how you've decided to use your creative power. And that's not something we need to go do anymore, please. I didn't want to tell you guys what to do. I was just so sad, to see people that I know that identify as yogis sharing really weird things. So we've created this, landscape, and it's not your fault. Everything is very highly addictive, very orchestrated to kind of make us degenerate, make society degenerate in a certain way. But its world has kind of been constructed so that it started to normalize. But in an enlightened society, which this technology that we practice was made to create enlightened society, discourse, meaning people who have different opinions, we want to get back to enlightened societies. Greek society is famous for having philosophy discord. They would have public discord where people had completely opposite spectrums, and they would have heated debate, but nobody necessarily died from said heated debate, right? So we want to get back to having the nervous system to be around people who have different opinions than us, and think that that's okay. Because we're all humans, just trying to express our soul and God consciousness through us, and we must respect all humans and have dignity from their perspective, whatever their perspective is. And that to me seems so obvious, but apparently we've gotten lost in the sauce a little bit. And since I went here already, you may just feel a little bit of emotional energy in your body. That you may have felt this week when you've consumed some content. Do you have that feeling? Do you know what I'm talking about? That feeling? Because what I want you to know is that feeling is harvested, for lack of a better word, to create more fear on the planet. So now we're going to get into a practice that's very elevating. Now we're going to get into a place where you connect with your soul so it can express through you, so that this coming week, which is a super important week, you have enough energy to take the elevated route going into the equinox and this next eclipse that are happening a week from today. So big times. but just know that that feeling is generated intentionally in you by showing all these images and media to make everyone feel that scary feeling. And then it's just kind of like bred and stoked. Like I see this like hand over everything, just being like, yes, hate, woo, like weird vibes going on. Okay, so that's happening, and you should, as a yogi, be like, okay, this is not my own, and I'm going to take a step back, or I'm going to go practice, or I'm going to chant mantra, or I'm going to do whatever I need to do to clean my energy so that I can stay on my mission. So one of the sort of collective things that we as yogis are working on right now is consider taking down your screen time. Like consider looking at your screen time or your social media app time on your devices and lowering it. Because that's a really good mirror for how things are going in the sovereignty of your own consciousness. And we're getting in a really like critical state right now where you have to be alert. Then the teaching that I will close this with is we always have to come back to, obviously, can I do better than I did yesterday? And also, what did I come here to do? What have I done? And how do I feel about what I've done? That's from my teacher. And nobody wants to deal with that every day. It's very intense, right? We don't want to look at the subconscious mind. We don't want to look at the discomfort of us not being where we want to be, which, by the way, you'll never really be where you want to be because you're always climbing up. So you have to be at peace a little bit with where you are, of course. And then also be looking at, can I do a little better than I did yesterday? And that also means taking action with the merit of your own soul on the projects and the things that really matter to you and why you really came here, which I'm sure was not to repost weird stuff or whatever else is going on, or like many of us are empaths, or be super emotionally just distraught for days. That used to happen to me a lot before I practiced Kundalini Yoga. I would read information on the news. I would be so upset about it. And I would know this is not mine, and I wanted to not be upset, but I didn't have the energetic sovereignty to kind of clear it out. And now we can do that really quickly. So we're going to get to the practice. I hope what I said made sense. I never want to feel like I am preaching or imposing any beliefs on you ever, because Kundalini Yoga is meant for you to open up your intuitive power and listen to what's right for you. So please never take my word for it or anyone else's word for it. Open up your own consciousness, examine yourself, relate to your own soul, and project that, because that's what it's all about. Okay, let's do some cat-cow. Come on the hands and knees. Moving the spine, we're inhaling head, neck, shoulders, sit bones up, and exhale, curl the spine under, eyes closed, and breathe deep through the nose here. Deepen the breath, please, and move a little faster if you'd like. Now inhale, stretch up. Roll the eyes up, head, neck, and shoulders, sit bones up, focus third eye. And then exhale, curl under, all the breath out, chin in, press into the palms. And then inhale and exhale in child's pose. Sit back on the heels and then bow the forehead to the floor in front of you. Extend the arms forward. While you're here, the palms come to touch. This is Guru Pranam. Slow down the breath through the nose. Come into this posture anytime throughout the day. Anytime you need to ground yourself, you need to center yourself. Get out of neurosis, get out of fear, get the head below the heart here. Focus at the flood of energy at your intuitive center in between the eyebrows, and slow down the breath through the nose. Feel this expansion there. Your internal compass, your deep self-trust, and your connection to what is true and timeless can all be found in the meditation at your third eye, honestly. And if you'd like, just set a simple intention or prayer here. Trying to decide what to do. Inhale, exhale, because as usual, time is short and of the essence. But let's just tune up our bodies a little bit together. Come to lie on the back. And I'd never want anyone to be discouraged if you can't physically do any of these postures. Sometimes we do things that are really challenging. Sometimes they're challenging for multidimensional energetic reasons, not even physically. Like, you'll feel it in your physical body, but sometimes it's a spiritual thing that's happening. Honestly, it's a spiritual war on the planet. So every time we're increasing our light quotient in the body, sometimes you come up in all sorts of opposition. That's why we chant a protection mantra. That's why we tune in. That's why we play mantras while we do the yogas, because we're trying to create the most sacred environment for you to grow in without any external influences. But anyways, if you can't do this, don't worry about it. We're going to do breath of fire through this whole sequence because we want to cleanse the bloodstream, cleanse the mind, detox fear, detox insecurity, detox depression. Literally, like detox, the blood will cleanse. If you're pregnant or in the beginning of your cycle as a woman, you will breathe long and deep through the nose. The rest of us will do breath of fire. And breath of fire is a very simple breath. Sorry if you hear dogs behind me. I'm very, in Puerto Rico, the dogs are really passionate. But breath of fire, people like to make complicated, but it's not. It's very simple. It's just an equal inhale and exhale through the nose. And you'll hear the breath, and you'll feel the belly move, but you don't have to force anything. It's just... And right before we begin, you're going to lie on the back, and I'll say, speaking to someone recently, and they were like, I heard there's a lot of breathing in Kundalini. They came to class. They were like, I heard there's a lot of breathing. I have anxiety, so I might not do the heavy breathing. Because basically the thought is that I'm going to have an anxiety attack because I'm breathing quickly. But breath of fire, just briefly, done correctly, you inhale, the belly will naturally move out. As you exhale, the belly will naturally go in. If we breathe the opposite way, it can cause a panic attack. You don't even have to think about that, but just so you understand. Sometimes we breathe the opposite way because we're trying to look skinny. That's like a cultural kind of programming. But if you're breathing naturally, inhale, belly puffs out, exhale, belly comes in, and you don't have to worry about it. It's going to cleanse out fear, so it actually removes anxiety. All right, let's do our stretch pose here. We're not here long. This posture is a challenge for everyone, so I don't want to hear you guys eating pancakes instead of doing it. Let's just go for it. It's going to open up your power center. We're not starting yet. We'll start in a second. Your power center is your third chakra, your solar plexus, just right under your navel point, right under the belly button. You're used to get your power from your mother when you were in the womb, but now that you're out of the womb, this energy center still is your connection to universal energy and power, including your own sovereignty, will, and authority. So let's open it up now. Head, neck, shoulders 6 inches off the ground, legs 6 inches off the ground. You're lying on the ground. Breath of fire, please. Eyes open. Look forward. Keep up. We're not here very long. You want to go past the point which you feel discomfort. There's a surge in energy there. Okay, you have 15 seconds. Give it your all. People do this posture for a very long time, and now you only have 5 seconds left, so do your very best. Inhale. Now hold the posture, squeeze the body, hold, squeeze, and release. Come up and over to lie on the belly. All right, lying on the stomach. we're in these postures for 90 seconds or less. All right, so no worries. All good. This is bow pose. And I'm going to come into the breath of fire again. So lie on the belly, bend the knees, grab the ankles, lift the heart open, stretch the legs. Just the belly really is on the ground. And then begin that breath of fire again, please. Breath of fire. Close the eyes and just listen to the rhythm of the breath. Posture, inhale, stretch up, hold the breath in, roll the eyes up, and exhale, relax down, and roll over or come up and over to lie on the back again. The thing where, we're all just doing our best, everyone. This is where we can all be more compassionate. Everyone's doing their best. Everyone somehow thinks that they're trying to be helpful, even when they're sharing negativity. But even in these postures, we're doing our best, and that's where the win actually is in the effort. Okay, come to bring your navel point, your hips to be the highest point off the ground now. You're going to come into a full wheel pose or a bridge pose, depending on your practice. So if you can do full wheel pose, you'll do that. If you don't know what that is, then just lift the hips as high as possible, bend the knees, put the feet flat on the floor near the ankles. Here's the modification, bridge pose. And then wheel pose is where the whole body comes up like an arc. Not here long, less than a minute. Ready? Come into your version of the posture, please. And we're going to go into a powerful, rhythmic, quick breath of fire. More seconds. Now inhale. Hold the posture, press the hips up, 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 please. And then exhale, lower the hips down, relax. Stay lying on the back. And come into this variation of the fish pose. Your legs are crossed. By the way, this whole sequence, it's a navel, I think it's called, I don't know what it's called. It's the word navel in it. navel kriya, navel set, to set your navel. What's it called, Sergio? Navel adjustment kriya. The whole thing is just to set the navel point. Not because we're power hungry, but because when this is set, your power, everything else comes into alignment and you really can't be thrown off. And this is why there's a balance of the yoga and then the meditation. It's because if the navel's set and then you meditate, your energy is aligned. You're able to listen to your will and trust it. So with intuitive opening and you kind of scan information, you can see, oh, this is not true. This is false. This has an agenda of destruction or negativity, and then you can just kind of swipe forward and move on with your life. So it's very practical. This is the last posture. You're lying on your back, but your legs are crossed. And if you can come into half lotus or full lotus, you'll do that. You'll grab your toes. But just simply, everybody should lie on the ground with their hips open and their knees wide like they're seated. Lie down. Okay, you're in the posture, and grab your toes while you're there, if you can, and then just close the eyes and do breath of fire. We're not here long. Notice how this is a posture of surrender. The heart is open, the hips are open. Let the breath cleanse out any negativity, anything that's not your own, anything that's not useful or serviceable for you or others. Let the breath do the work now, full and deep. Last few seconds. Inhale. Exhale. Relax, uncross the legs. And you're lying on the back and you're just going to relax and listen for a moment. exhale. Roll the wrists to the ankles. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Knees into the chest. Rub the soles of the feet together. Rub the palms of the hands together. And rock and roll up to sit. Oh. Okay, come up to sit, everybody. Hands in Gyan Mudra at the knees, thumb and index finger touch. Sorry, I'm getting signals from my camera guy. Yeah. We love Save a Jagat so much. I speak on behalf of all of us on YouTube that we love my boyfriend. Okay. All right, here we go. We're seated, our eyes are closed. And slow down the breath through the nose, please. Focus at the third eye. And feel that you are a bright, shining star of love. And any other qualities that you want to hold in you, sit up very tall, spine is very straight. Very intelligent, very enlightened, very conscious being. Very bright, very radiant, very blissful, anything you want to embody. Very saintly, very high and realized, very intelligent, a bright, shining star of love. Hold this posture and add to it anything positive that you'd like to hold in you. And extend this into your whole energy field, your aura. Very bright, whatever bright, light, beautiful color that you want to be. It's a bright white usually. It can have gold tones. It can be pink. It can be green. Whatever you want to hold in you, extend it, carry it. And it's all vibrating in the sound Waheguru. The sound we carry is ecstatic, infinite consciousness. Practice. We do this often together. We did this every day in the Pritam Siri daily. Extend this aura around the whole earth. This energy you've created, which is enlightened, exalted, positive, any qualities you desire. Wrapping around the planet. And just practice holding that space. And breathing and mentally chanting Waheguru. And we're all connected now, all of us on the live, all of us in the future, weaving this sound and light. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to spend a few minutes together, not long at all, chanting a mantra. And the mantra is Ra, Ma, Da, Sa, Sa, Se, So, Hung. And this track is from White Sun. The singer is Guru Jas. And she recently said she would like us to all chant Ramadasai Sase So Hung. Through this, and I listened to her because once you hear her voice, you're like, okay, whatever you say. Really powerful, high, exalted, beautiful consciousness and sound. Okay, we're going to chant this healing mantra. Put yourself back into that space of what you need, that space of what you're projecting, and chant from the heart. It's easy to learn. Copy the sounds. hold it. Wrap the whole earth in this sound. It's vibrating in every cell of your body, in your aura, and in your projection. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. One of the reasons a lot of the yogis don't really comment on the detail of negative or positive happenings around the earth is because you can change a lot through your projection without hitting the nail on the head, without speaking directly. Because we never want to contribute to more fear or anger or suffering. Of course, we want to contribute to the higher frequency. So we don't have to preach directly. We don't have to hit the thing directly. You can just vibrate higher. And I encourage you to do this with sounds like the one we just played. You can play this one all week. You can listen to it. You can chant it. And you can project it at things in your own consciousness you're working on. Blocks that you perceive that you have, or obstacles in any capacity, things that you're up against, but also people in your life who you want to elevate in your close relationships, rather than directly kind of telling them what to do. Nobody likes to hear that, or how they could do better, whatever it is. You can just press the sound onto them, beam the sound onto them. Anyone who needs healing, anyone who needs elevation, which it really is everyone, you can change a lot just through the projection of, like, I'm going to use this mantra, this consciousness, to bring a miracle in this person's life. And it's a respectful way to elevate those around you. And then we do it with the whole planet. So try using this one every day through next week. See what happens if you just spend a few minutes with it. Even if you're like doing the dishes or doing other tasks, play it and just chant it while you're moving around, and see how it elevates and infuses your reality. Things can become quite magical when we do things like this. Bring the palms together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. And don't forget that Sat Nam is an air freshener, you guys. Sat Nam, we say Sat Nam all the time, me and my boyfriend, to each other, but he's a yogi, so it's not as weird. Sometimes I say Sat Nam to strangers, and that's super embarrassing. Like when I do get out, and I'm like at dinner or on the street, or I'll say Sat Nam accidentally to somebody, but it cleans the energy, cleans the emotional energy, just cleans the space, it neutralizes it. So I had a few moments this week where, I'm like, what the fuck? Sat Nam. sometimes you catch yourself saying something negative and you just have to Satnam, clear it out after. It kind of neutralizes the field a little bit. So always infuse some mantra in as you go through any turbulence. Okay, great job, everybody. Like I said, this is an important week. It's a really important week. So enjoy it and infuse the mantra. And next Sunday, we'll do a global meditation, special meditation here at 9 a.m. It'll be about 30 minutes together. You can, invite anyone you want. Pritam Siri YouTube, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, global meditation. That'll be really good because next Sunday is the new moon solar eclipse. And then next Sunday evening, I'm going to teach a workshop. If ever you want to go to a workshop and you can't attend live, you also get the replay link. So you can watch it as many times as you want. But next Sunday, we're doing a creative visioning workshop, which I do 1 or 2 times a year. It's really fun. It's called Positive Imagination and the Self-Fulfilling Prophecy. We're going to do creative writing. We're going to do a special meditation for the destiny projection of like creating your destiny. And then we're going to do some writing so that you can kind of write out this sort of manifesto that you look at every day and that you work with. It's a really powerful day to rewire things like that on that new moon eclipse next Sunday. So if you'd like to come, that's happening. And then the next day after that, next Monday, 8 days from now, is the autumn equinox, which is one of the 4 most powerful days of the year. So you want to practice that day as well. And I will also have a workshop at 6 p.m. Eastern that day. And it's auspicious. So keep up. And lots of love to you guys always. And grateful to be here and to have your energy and to grow together. Satnam. I'll put a link in a chat in case anybody wants to do the workshops next week. And I'm excited for our special meditation live with everybody next Sunday. So show up if you can.